CTV News with Lauren Stallone.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Officials at LHSC say the early surge in flu cases is causing longer wait times in emergency departments. With more on the impact to patient care and the warning about vaccination rates, here's Brian Bicknell.
It's arrived early and it's spreading fast. According to London Health Sciences Centre, there were 163 positive influenza cases in the most recent weekly data available, compared to 7 at the same time last year. The impact being felt across the system.
Hospital activity is rising with more admissions, more emergency visits, and more outbreaks, which puts pressures on our inpatient wards, our intensive care units, and on our staff. This is resulting in longer than usual wait times within our EDs and transfers to inpatient units.
And it's the same across the province. According to the Ontario Hospital Association, for the week of December 12, the daily number of patients with the flu is up by 150%. Hospital admissions are up by 84%, and the number of new admissions to the ICU increased by 127%. The OHA says influenza A positivity is higher now than any of the last 3 seasons across all age groups.
I think hospitals are preparing as best they can for what is no doubt going to be a busy December. I think, the real challenge is the kind of impacts on things like alternate level of care. So patients waiting for an alternative discharge destination. When we bring, people in, new admits, higher volumes.
Vaccination rates in the London region are down, according to LHSC's VP of Emergency Services.
We do recognize that they are down comparatively to last year, and possibly that might be related to some of the communications that have gone out. We strongly continue to encourage people to get the vaccinations as they can.
The majority of cases are caused by the influenza A variant, which is slightly different than this year's vaccine, but the vaccine is still effective, says Dr. Christy McDonald.
For children and teens, the flu vaccine provides about 72 to 75% protection against hospital visits. And for adults, protection is about 32 to 39%, helping lower the risk of severe illness. The vaccine also protects well against H1N1 and influenza B.
And influenza is expected to peak before the end of the year. Meanwhile, on the flip side of the respiratory situation, COVID is way down this year. LHSC reporting just 15 positive COVID-19 tests in recent weeks, compared to 67 during the same period 1 year ago. That's an 80% reduction. Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
Fanshawe College is offering all full-time employees voluntary exit initiatives amid plunging enrollment numbers. The news was delivered to staff in an email from the college's president. School officials have previously reported a $72 million deficit over the next 2 years. The federal government's cap on international students has drastically impacted enrollment numbers for many post-secondary institutions across the country. As much as a 50% decline at Fanshawe. Earlier this year, the school slashed 40 programs and eliminated 35% of its workforce, about 400 jobs. The London Police Service Board has adopted a new plan meant to better reflect the diversity in our community within the ranks. However, as Daryl Newcomb reports, that diversity is not currently reflected in the police board itself.
The London Police Services Board has adopted a new diversity plan that aims to ensure London police are reflective of the community they serve.
In the last year, the London Police Service has 25% of sworn officers self-identify from diverse backgrounds. 24% of civilian professionals identify from diverse backgrounds. We are building one of the most diverse executive teams in the country when it comes to police services as well.
However, the current membership of the police board does not reflect the diversity of London. The 7-seat civilian oversight body currently has 1 vacancy following the sudden resignation of Dr. Haley Faulkner. Last month, provincial appointee Mike Wallace was sworn in as the newest member. Police Board Chair Ryan Goss points out that two levels of government, the province and city council, are each responsible for appointing certain seats on the board.
All boards, committees should reflect the community in which they serve, 100% yes. Now, when it comes to the Police Service Board, you'll know that there's both the province of Ontario as well as the City of London that appoints to this board. Both bodies don't talk to each other when it comes to appointments sometimes.
It was just back in May when City Council enacted a new policy intended to improve diversity in its selections to the police board. The city's new policy reads, quote, "The City of London is committed to recruiting and selecting members to the London Police Services Board that reflect the diversity of the community." The province's website reads, quote, "Provincial appointees reflect the diversity of the people of Ontario and deliver services and decisions in a nonpartisan, professional, ethical, and competent manner." Back in 2019, London's Police Services Board was a model of diversity, including Black, Muslim, and Indigenous members. As the current chair, Goss makes this commitment to Londoners from diverse communities.
We'll stop at nothing to make sure that all voices are heard, that all lived experiences and backgrounds, their views are represented within this room.
In 2017, the police board was expanded from 5 to 7 members in order to reflect the growing population and diversity in London. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
London police released a video on social media today, 1 year after the death of a local boy killed when he got off a school bus.
In one moment, our little boy was gone and our lives were changed forever.
That's the mother of Dante Caranci, who was hit by a driver on Longwoods Road last year. In the video, she and London's police chief urged drivers to always stop when school buses have their lights flashing. 2 people face charges related to the young boy's death, and both of those cases remain before the courts. City officials say Highbury Avenue has reopened after a water main break earlier this week. The issue started Saturday with the weather causing issues for crews working on repairs. Officials say the recent cold and the age of the water main likely combined to cause the break. It was installed in 1949. A charitable organization is expanding operations to London, taking over a warehouse with big plans for the upcoming holiday season. Sean Irvin has more on the efforts to salvage food and products that would otherwise end up in a landfill.
Inside this leased space donated by an unnamed benefactor, we find a beehive of volunteers on a mission to give. On this day, they are members of a local Rotary Club and the Halal Food Bank. All are working together to pack items destined for more than 40 London agencies, aiding those facing homelessness, addiction, and food insecurity. The volunteers are managed by Lionhearts, Inc. The faith-based charity began on a whim after its founder, a former rock musician, discovered food and products were being tossed out by big-name retailers. He decided to approach them with an idea.
Then I just said, man, imagine what we could do if we could create a path where bigger companies could donate large amounts of stuff and we could turn around and get that to those agencies that are on the front lines.
The concept worked. Since 2014, Lionhearts has spread from Kingston to Ottawa and now on to London. The 4 cities selected for expansion, given its proximity to an Amazon distribution warehouse. The online retailer donates truckloads to Lionhearts, but local hotels and attractions are now also coming on board.
We really want this to be our staging point for all of southwestern Ontario. London is strategically placed in our province.
We're already into a couple of areas, 3 or 4 areas around our city, but I think it's going to expand not just to the City of London, but we're already starting this in Lucan. And as well, I think it's going to expand into Strathroy, St. Thomas. I think wherever there's a need, we want to be on the front line to help them see that need met.
And with food literally wasting away, backers say expansion cannot happen soon enough. They contend 40% of food produced in Canada ends up in the trash.
If we could rescue 10% of that 40% that would go in the trash, nobody would go hungry.
It is the reason why volunteers are hard at work ensuring that does not happen.
It's a win-win situation, and it's just a really good feeling to be helping others.
In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
Visitations were held today for a prominent local philanthropist, David Tenant, who died last week. With more on his life and impact, here's Nick Paparella.
What I'll miss most will just be the everyday stuff, not being able to call him.
Dave Tenant Jr. breaks down as he tries to describe the impact the life of his father, Dave Sr., has had on so many.
He was an extremely big personality. When he'd walk into a room, his presence was immediately felt.
Dave Tenant came to Canada from Scotland and quickly became one of London's finest.
Not long after he arrived, he went undercover in a joint task force with the RCMP. And I think it was the first undercover operation that they had done in Canada at that point.
After he left policing, Dave became a builder and started up what is now known as the Hampton Group.
Late 80s, got into house construction and then subdivision work. Then I joined him around 1995. We were primarily building houses in our own subdivisions out in Strathroy and Ilderton. And then from there, we just went into straight developing of subdivisions.
He later got involved in politics, serving as chief of staff for then Minister of Trade Tom Hawken during the Free Trade Agreement in the 90s, and also getting involved in the mayoral bid of Jack Burkhart. Then, when in his 60s, he began charitable work in Sudan, helping develop farmland.
Yeah, my dad always saw politics as a way to give back to the country that he loved, Canada. He saw it as public service. With the Sudan, again, he saw the Sudan as just a group of people who had been that he could help. He dedicated a good 10 years to their cause.
As a young man, he was a competitive swimmer and remained active until he passed away.
Even in his personal life, when he would decide to take up jogging, he would it wouldn't just be jogging, it would have to be a marathon.
Married to his wife Jennifer, Dave had 2 kids and was papa to 7 grandchildren.
That was probably, being a papa was probably his greatest job that he had.
Dave Tennant was 78. Nick Paparella, CTV News.
An iconic London eatery is on the move. The Malibu Diner has served East London for 7 decades. With more on the restaurant's next chapter, here's Jerry Dewan.
Like many great diners, the Malibu made a connection with the community.
We had our grade 8 graduation here.
Gord Bell met his soon-to-be wife Gil a couple of years later, and they've been returning to the Malibu together for the last 50 years. For Bell, the appeal can be easily summed up.
Good service, good food, good price.
The restaurant has seen a number of owners over the years. Jessica Quinn took over about 10 years ago.
When I bought it, I didn't think so much, actually, just like investment and to run a business.
But it didn't take long to understand the passion customers have for the Malibu.
Lots of story happened, and I realized we have lots of regular royalty customer, and the family restaurant is a part of the community.
On this day, there's a gathering of nurses and other healthcare professionals from University Hospital. They've been meeting like this once a month for about 30 years.
We talk about, issues that are going on in our houses, in homes and families, and support one another.
For the last 10 years, they've been coming to the Malibu.
Jen has been our waitress for all of that time that we've been coming here, and she looks after us like we're all princesses.
Jennifer Smale started working at the Malibu when she was a teenager. She's 54 now. Before that, her mother worked at the restaurant. She says that generational connection is not uncommon.
Even like the cook, his dad's worked here, his 2 sisters have worked here, his brothers worked here.
Quinn says the building constructed in the 1950s has required numerous repairs in recent years. More repairs were required and couldn't be justified. Instead, they found a new home on Dundas, a short distance away, keeping the restaurant in the community. The new Malibu has been undergoing what is called a soft launch for the last 3 weeks. Opening at 11 in the morning, closing at 8 at night, it gives staff an opportunity to test equipment and systems. But as of tomorrow, this is the permanent home of the Malibu. Unfortunately, the red marquee neon name sign won't be making the trip, but staff are promising the heart, soul, and some of the Malibu history will, on this day, taking the form of a perfect Panzerato. Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
The London Knights faced off against the Owen Sound attack tonight in what ended up being a nail-biter.
Here come the Knights back with numbers now. This is Clark. Clark tried to get it through. There's a chance. Woolley scores! Jared Woolley picks up the loose puck off the rebound and buries it
The Knights gave up the lead in the third period, and this one would go to overtime, but it didn't take long before Jared Woolley gained possession of the puck to score the game-winning goal. The Knights win 5-4 the final and will be back on home ice this Friday as they take on the Oshawa Generals. Coming up, it's time to play the music. It's time to light the lights as the beloved Muppet Show returns. Canada's main stock index was down today on losses in the heavyweight financial sector. In Toronto, the TSX lost 14 points, and in New York, the Dow fell 228, while the Nasdaq dropped 418. The Canadian dollar is down 1/5 of a cent today, and on commodity markets, gold gained more than $41 an ounce, and oil added 63 cents a barrel. U.S. President Donald Trump laid down his agenda for 2026 as he touted his achievements in a primetime address to Americans.
We're putting America first, and we are making America great again. Very simple. We are making America great again. Tonight, after 11 months, our border is secure. Inflation is stopped. Wages are up. Prices are down. Our nation is strong. America is respected. And our country is back, stronger than ever before. We're poised for an economic boom, the likes of which the world has never seen.
The speech comes at a crucial time for the U.S. president as his popularity continues to erode. Public polling shows frustration with his handling of the economy. Trump's income tax cuts and efforts to end conflicts abroad have failed to sway his fiercest critics. Also unpopular, his mass deportations of immigrants. That's despite support for stopping crossings at the U.S.-Mexico border. Canada's population declined this year, something that has only happened one other time during the COVID-19 pandemic. As Heather Wright reports, the drop will likely impact the Canadian economy in a big way.
The federal government promised to, quote, get immigration under control, and preliminary numbers from Statistics Canada suggest efforts to curb the number of immigrants are working. Between July 1st and October 1st of this year, Canada's population decreased by about 76,000 people, mainly due to a reduction in the number of non-permanent residents. Stats Canada attributes the decrease to record high outflows, with about 74,000 people with a study permit leaving the country.
We needed to bring our immigration level to a more sustainable level, and at the same time, we've doubled down in Budget 2025 to attract the best and brightest in our country.
This decrease follows record rates of population growth between 2022 and 2023, an immigration policy aimed at part in helping companies fill thousands of empty jobs following the COVID-19 pandemic. But the increase also exacerbated existing challenges with housing and health care.
One of the things that it doesn't seem to be any huge consensus on is what our perfect immigration levels should be.
Michael Hahn is a professor and demographer at Western University and says a shrinking population can have positive impacts, such as driving down housing prices. But he warns there can be negative impacts too, especially when the changes happen so quickly.
You know, wide open, wide shut. Those are the ones that hurt the most. Those are the ones that, universities, colleges, builders, they're not prepared for these abrupt changes because population change, I think optimal population change happens slowly rather than quickly.
More changes to immigration levels are coming, with the federal Liberals vowing to further reduce the number of temporary residents over the next 2 years. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Reassurances from Canada Post officials 1 week out from Christmas. They're ready for the holiday rush. They say they expect letters and parcels will be delivered on time. Last month, Canada Post and the union representing thousands of mail carriers agreed in principle to new contracts. The deadline to send Christmas cards nationally was today. The deadline to send packages by regular mail nationally and regionally has already passed. But there are still options to get them there by Christmas if you pay a bit more. Opposition MPPs and community advocates are sounding the alarm over the latest step in the Ford government's revamp of Ontario Place. They say work is underway that could see raw sewage diverted into Lake Ontario after similar proposals faced pushback last year.
We wondered what would come next.
Would the government revise the sewage plan and come back with a better one based on the feedback it received? Not likely. Instead, we got our answer in Bill 5, legislation that does away with consultation and accountability in the name of speeding up priority projects. And yes, Ontario Place had the honor of being named specifically in Bill 5 with a provision removing the requirement to post environmental notices at all.
The province says a combined sewer overflow pipe that's being installed is independent of the Ontario Place redevelopment, and it's a key relief valve to prevent sewer overloads during storms. Officials say interim work is underway aimed at redirecting discharge further away from areas of public use.
Good evening, I'm Rita Ismail. Clouds will increase overnight tonight and will remain on the milder side for your Thursday. We are tracking a big weather maker that will push through tomorrow, and it will pack a good amount of rainfall. That's right, as our temperatures climb tomorrow to well above seasonal values. We're expecting 7 degrees for tomorrow. This system will bring in rainfall later in the day, and then in behind it, cold air will have us dealing with a mixed bag of weather for your Friday. I'll walk you through the next 24 hours. Coming up after the break.
It's time to build a toy mountain. Make this holiday season merry for so many kids.
Bring new unwrapped toys to CF Masonville Place.
All in support of the Salvation Army. We will be collecting donations November 21st to December 24th.
With all donations helping families right here in our community. Toy Mountain, supported by Gomez Appliances, London Bass Center, and UBC Built Local 1946.
Let's make this the best toy mountain ever. Visit ctvlondon.ca for more ways to donate.
Rita Ismail joins me on the desk now. Rita, before we get to the weather, I can't help but notice that we match the beautiful poinsettias behind us.
We sure do, and we look just as good, I think.
For sure, and it was totally unplanned, just happened. Now, getting to the weather, it doesn't look as beautiful outside, unfortunately.
Certainly not. We are going to be dealing with a fall-like system, Lauren, and we've been sort of dealing with winter-like temperatures and snowfall, so big change for your Thursday. Our high today, balmy, 4 degrees, and of course, that's relatively speaking in comparison to the negative temperatures we've been dealing with the last week. Warm today, warm tomorrow. Normal this time of year is at the freezing mark. Record high 12 degrees in 1984. Now, as we head into the night, you can see a little bit of cloud cover throughout Midwestern Ontario. You had some light flurries earlier today. It was all thanks to a weak low pressure system that swung through early in the morning. The rest of us managed to stay dry throughout the day. And again, our temperatures warming, all thanks to this warm front that is slowly approaching. It will make its way through over the Great Lakes region tomorrow late in the day. Here's how that plays out on the forecast model. So we'll wake up lots of cloud cover, some rainfall pushing through early around 3-4 p.m., especially along the eastern shores of Lake Huron. You can see that on the forecast model, and then really becoming widespread later in the day around 9 p.m. here in London, and then that rainfall will push out. The temperatures will drop, and you guessed it, we'll have some mixed precipitation overnight Friday into Friday morning, and then the winds pick up, the cold air moves back in. The same story we've been telling you, those lake effect flurries and snow squalls will kick right back into play Friday afternoon. So tomorrow will be a completely different forecast than Friday. A bit of fall-like weather for tomorrow, and certainly feeling like winter again by the end of the week. Heading into your Thursday morning, it will be windy as well. The winds out of the south, 20 to 40 kilometers per hour, getting even more windier. Out of the south, 30 to 50 kilometers per hour. The high for tomorrow, 7 degrees as that rain moves in. And then after the system pushes out, we'll see the temperatures start to tumble again, dropping down to an overnight low of -2, but the wind chill will be a factor. And then Friday throughout the day, flurries and snow squalls possible, and then mostly cloudy with the chance for some flurries as well on Saturday. Sunday looks to be the better half of the weekend in terms of sunshine and stability. -2 though, and then we drop back down to -7 first thing Monday morning. The chance of flurries is there Monday through to Wednesday. Midwestern Ontario, snow squalls highly possible for you on Friday. In behind this system that's packing rain on Thursday, we will deal with heavy snow squalls Friday morning, -3 degrees, and then it'll feel like -11. Saturday and Sunday, the chance of flurries is certainly there for you as the
Temperatures drop below the freezing mark again to -4 on Sunday and -2 on Monday. So this balmy weather today and tomorrow will certainly be short-lived. Lauren?
Thanks, Rita. Alberta's premier is demanding an apology after Skate Canada indicated there would be no national or international level events in that province because of Alberta's rules on transgender athletes. A new Alberta law restricts transgender athletes from participating in female-only sports. According to Skate Canada officials, they're unable to host events in the province while maintaining their standards for safety and inclusivity. Alberta's sport minister released a statement claiming the provincial rules keep girls safe and competitions fair. Meanwhile, an Alberta senator says the law harms trans athletes, which is why the government preemptively invoked the notwithstanding clause to block any legal challenges. Provincial police say they've dismantled an organized crime network responsible for hundreds of vehicle thefts.
By disrupting the infrastructure that enabled stolen vehicles to move beyond our borders, we have significantly impacted organized crime's ability to profit from these offenses.
According to OPP, Project Chickadee began 2 years ago when officers recovered 4 stolen vehicles in the Toronto area. Investigators say they found evidence that led to a larger criminal organization shipping vehicles overseas. They say more than 300 stolen vehicles have since been recovered, and 20 people now face more than 130 charges. Warner Brother executives are telling shareholders to reject a takeover bid from Paramount's Skydance. The Warner Brothers board wrote a letter to shareholders saying they should reject Paramount's unsolicited and inferior offer. Board members instead say a rival bid from Netflix will be better for customers. It's now up to shareholders to decide what happens next. Finally for us tonight, The Muppet Show is set to return. Disney Plus sharing this trailer today for a one-off special event that's set to air February 4th. It coincides with the 50th anniversary of the debut of the original Muppet Show. Kermit, Miss Piggy, and many more iconic characters are set to be joined by guest star Sabrina Carpenter. She's executive producing alongside Seth Rogen, and reports suggest the special could launch a new series. That's our time tonight. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a great night.